The images that we are showing you on your television screen is the cavalcade of the Uttar Pradesh police that is now carrying dreaded mafia don of Uttar Pradesh of Kanpur. Vikas Dubey stands accused of being involved in the killing of 8 police personnel. 8 Uttar Pradesh police personnel who had gone to arrest him, including the circle officer, the DSP of that area. Now, this is a crime where a lot is also being said about the caste angle, the money angle, his contacts with the police, his political contacts, and this, many were saying that there would be an encounter and he would be bumped off. It's also being said that he's actually surrendered. But is that actually the case? We'll get you that story. But before that, let me get you the high drama when he went to the Mahakal temple in Ujjain and surrendered or was arrested, and the latest now.
मैं विकास दुबे हूं कानपुर वाला।
End to the free run of Uttar Pradesh's most notorious gangster. Vikas Dubey to the assembled media, probably fearing his end in police custody.
मैं विकास दुबे हूं कानपुर वाला।
Cornered by cops from 4 states, the Don was earlier spotted at the revered Mahakal temple. Buying flowers worth 250 rupees and going for darshan, the local flower seller found him suspicious and alerted the temple security, who in turn tipped off the police. Dubey was caught after returning from puja. The local cops initially used the Truecaller app in the mobile to ascertain his identity before alerting the top brass.
जवान तैनात थे, मुझे आगे बताया कि सर मीडिया के आधार पर संदेही लग रहा है, विकास दुबे है, पूछताछ किया, आईडी अपनी गलत बता रहा है, वरिष्ठ अधिकारियों को सूचित किया, जो भी दिशा निर्देश प्राप्त होते हैं इंक्वायरी के बाद जो होगा उसी।
Sources say it was all meticulously planned by Dubey, who fled to Ujjain from Faridabad in 16 hours to reach the temple at around 7:30 a.m.
एक महाशय आए, उनके पास बैग था, तो मेरे से पूछते कि बैग कहाँ रखूँ मेरा, तो मैंने जूता स्टैंड पर आपने जूता जहाँ रखा उसके ऊपर बैग रख दीजिए रैक में, तो वहाँ से दर्शन करके चले गए। हमारे सिक्योरिटी गार्ड जो रोड शो चलता है, वो व्यक्ति उनके चारों लोग वॉच कर रहे थे। वॉच में उन्होंने देखा कि शायद ये व्यक्ति विकास दुबे हो सकता है, क्योंकि इसे पैर में लचक थी लंगाने टाइप। जब वो दर्शन करके बाहर निकला तो उससे पूछताछ करी, तो गोल गोल जवाब देता रहा। फिर उसे पुलिस चौकी लाया, पुलिस चौकी पे शायद उन्होंने कन्विंस करा कि मैं विकास दुबे हूँ।
इनके जितने भी अन्य साथी बचे हुए हैं, जिन्होंने इस घटना को अंजाम दिया है, उनके विरुद्ध उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस का सघन अभियान जारी रहेगा जब तक कि हम उनको गिरफ्तार नहीं कर लेते, जब तक उनको हम कोर्ट में नहीं पेश कर देते और जब तक उनको हम सजा नहीं दिलाते।
UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, who personally supervised the manhunt, was briefed by his MP counterpart Shivraj about the arrest.
मैं मध्य प्रदेश पुलिस को इसके लिए बधाई देता हूं। हम उत्तर प्रदेश के निरंतर संपर्क में हैं। आगामी कार्रवाई के लिए इसको उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस को सौंपा जाएगा।
The Don who masterminded the Kanpur ambush, killing 8 policemen, had eluded cops of 4 states for 6 days, narrowly escaping before a raid at a Faridabad hotel in Delhi NCR. But his options were running out since the UP cops were eliminating his key henchmen and family members one by one in successive encounters. Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, we have Mr. Gupteshwar Pandey, the Director General of the Bihar Police, who joins us on the broadcast. We also have Mr. Vikram Singh, former Director General of the Uttar Pradesh Police, with us on the broadcast on major lapses. UP Police is in the eye of a storm. Lapses when it comes to intelligence, lapses when it comes to operations. But before that, Let's take a look at this report that Nilanshu Shukla and I have filed on lapses, multiple lapses on the part of the Uttar Pradesh police from day one.
मैं विकास दुबे हूँ कानपुर वाला
As Madhya Pradesh police arrested notorious Uttar Pradesh mafia don Vikas Dubey from the Mahakal temple in Ujjain, the incompetence of UP police in nabbing him became apparent. The UP police had been busy laying cordons around the film city in Noida and erecting barricades, expecting the don to surrender in front of television cameras. The incompetence of UP police was exposed at multiple levels. The dreaded mafia don escaped from Kanpur after allegedly being involved in the killing of 8 police personnel. He had allegedly been tipped off by UP police personnel. The slain Deputy Superintendent of Police, Devendra Mishra, had informed his superiors about the alleged complicity of Chaubepur Station House Officer Vinay Tiwari. But no action was taken despite several oral and a written complaint. The police are in the dock over brushing the complaint under the carpet amidst complaints of loyalty to caste or loyalty to uniform.
ये पेशेवर अपराधियों को शेर बनाओगे, क्रांतिकारी बनाओगे और मारे जाएंगे तो इनको शहीद बोलोगे। अपराध की संस्कृति को समूल उखाड़ना होगा। इसमें आम जनता को ये समझना होगा कि अपराधी जात का देखकर अपराध नहीं करता है।
The UP police had no idea that Dubey travelled 478 kilometers from Kanpur to Faridabad with his core team of gangsters. By the time police reached Faridabad, Dubey had been tipped off again and escaped. Despite Dubey allegedly being involved in the killing of 8 UP police personnel and decamping with their weapons, 25 special police force teams had no clue about his whereabouts. They laid cordon at Film City Noida as Dubey travelled 774 kilometers from Faridabad to Ujjain. And this showed poor intelligence network of the UP police.
के जितने भी अन्य साथी बचे हुए हैं जिन्होंने इस घटना को अंजाम दिया है, उनके विरुद्ध उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस का सघन अभियान जारी रहेगा जब तक कि हम उनको गिरफ्तार नहीं कर लेते, जब तक उनको हम कोर्ट में नहीं पेश कर देते और जब तक उनको हम सजा नहीं दिलाते।
According to initial investigations, Vikas Dubey was using his own phone to remain in contact with his people. In fact, Madhya Pradesh police used Truecaller app to identify him when arrested, but the police was not able to track him using this cell phone. According to Madhya Pradesh administration, Dubey was travelling in a UP number plate vehicle. And yet, due to poor coordination between UP police with neighbouring states, there was an absence of effective multi-state effort to nab the don.
While gangster Vikas Dubey has finally been arrested, questions are being raised as to how did he manage to travel to Faridabad and then to Ujjain without any whiff to the UP police. No action on the letter written by DSP Devendra Mishra alleging links between the wanted history sheeter and the local police station is also appalling. In Kanpur with Shivendra Shivastav and camera person Harish Kanpal, Nilanshu Shukla for India Today.
Mr. Vikram Singh, you've headed the Uttar Pradesh police, you were DGP. What do you make of the actions of the Uttar Pradesh police in this case, from intelligence to operations? Is this a case of loyalty to caste over loyalty to lanyard?
Mr. Gaurav Sawant, I would react that there are horrible fault lines that are visible. In the first place, fault number one, that the letter written by Shaheed Deputy SP Devendra Mishra was not taken cognizance of and no action was taken. What to talk of deterrent action? it was relegated to the dustbin. One. Fault line number two, any number of informers in police station Chaubepur giving direct information about the vital intelligence and other material to Vikas Dubey is fault line number two. Fault line number three, that yes, the set of informers and the swiftness with which you should have reacted was probably, there was a cause of concern also. But I would not fault the UP police for one thing. There was excellent coordination between UP and Madhya Pradesh police. It was because of the close cooperation and coordinated action that he surfaced in Ujjain and he was subsequently, there is nothing like a surrender before the police. Indeed, he traveled right up to Faridabad and Faridabad up to Ujjain. But you must understand, Mr. Gaurav, that in the heat of the encounter, the first priority is to take the injured to the hospital, give them medical help, then return the fire. And then this lucid...
Fair enough. But what was the special investigation team?
To make his escape and... Pardon me, I couldn't get you, Gauravji.
And remain underground for so many days, for practically a week. Mr. Pandey, you've alluded to the fact that perhaps some were lionizing this man because of his caste, because he was a Brahmin. Now, this loyalty to caste over loyalty to lanyard would be a cause for grave concern, sir.
It's a serious cause of concern. I'm telling you one thing. Because he was evading arrest not only because of this caste factor. Variety of factors are there. Once a criminal becomes against infamous, he develops such a big nexus. He has connections everywhere in police, in politics, everywhere. So there could be variety of reasons and there could be number of persons supporting him. His cloud becomes so big. तो कहना बड़ा मुश्किल है कि कहाँ से कैसे वो इवेड अरेस्ट कर रहा है. But this is very unfortunate that we, support criminals on caste line. We make them hero. We, we feel proud of him. I saw in a Facebook somebody has given a comment that वो ब्राह्मणों का शेर है. I feel shame. This is very shameful. This is very unfortunate that professional criminals, dacoit, robber, kidnapper, extortionist and killers, contract killers and veteran criminals like Vikas Dubey are being treated like hero. This is a very, very, very serious thing. If every caste start doing like this, then what will be the fate of the society? You have to imagine, you have to think about this.
Oh,
this
absolutely.
Is not good.
Criminal
is...
This is horrible.
Only criminal. So nobody should...
A criminal is a criminal, a terrorist is a terrorist, a gangster is a gangster, irrespective of his caste, creed or religion. And Mr. Vikram Singh, in your appreciation, in this case, where does the buck stop? Who should be held accountable for these lapses, especially in even gathering intelligence? I mean, this man was using his own mobile phone. Madhya Pradesh police used a true caller network to identify him. The Uttar Pradesh police, that means technology-wise, is quite outdated, sir.
Not necessarily. In fact, I was the one who started the STF in Madhya Pradesh and also in 5 other states. It is only a matter of, it was fortuitous, perhaps they depended upon the true caller. But electronic surveillance as a subject, UP is a pioneer in that. But gangsters use multiple SIM cards, multiple handsets and multiple mechanisms to communicate, even voice over internet protocol also. So it's not necessary. I mean, when you are indiscreet, probably he did not use a single SIM card or a phone. In most of the journeys, he used his friend's SIM card and the phone. It was only when he felt that he was in the safe domain of Ujjain that he started using his phone, and then he let the cat out of the bag. Or perhaps it was an indiscreet act on his part, and then the rest is history. But I would not say, but I would say the close coordination between the Madhya Pradesh police, UP STF and the UP police is responsible for what has happened.
Okay. Amidst allegations that perhaps, there were political leaders in Madhya Pradesh and he thought he could surrender there. In Uttar Pradesh, there could well have been an encounter. But the question, Mr. Pandey, and since you are DGP of Bihar, I must ask you this question. This man was responsible for killing 8 policemen, and in some cases, some of those policemen were tortured. There are reports to say that he had a lot of inflammable material, incendiary material in his house because he wanted to set those bodies of policemen on fire. दहशत का राज था इसका और उसके बावजूद the police seem to be helping him. Such elements in the police, whether it's for money or for caste, these elements need to be weeded out of the system.
Police criminal nexus, I mean, this is not a new thing. You know, I know, everybody knows. It's not a new thing. Police criminal nexus has been there in the past also. It is there today also. In Bihar now, you see, after Mr. Nitish Kumar took over as Chief Minister of Bihar 15 years back, this crime, criminal, police, politician, this nexus was finished completely. Now there is no such nexus, unholy nexus here in Bihar at least. But in many states it is there. So there are some people in khaki also, there are people in khadi also who support criminals. So there are variety of reasons. It's very complicated question. It's very difficult to answer. But it is true that there is unholy nexus between police and criminals somewhere. There are some selected police personnel in the department who connive with the criminals, who support them, who help them in many ways, and they themselves in fact are criminals in khaki. So such persons, such officers, such police personnel who are in khaki and working for those criminals must be identified and must be suitably punished.
No, but the fact, Mr. Pandey, that he was able to dodge the police in Uttar Pradesh, he fled from Kanpur, fled almost 500 kilometers, came to Faridabad in Haryana. UP police had no clue. Another BJP ruled state, the Haryana police had no clue. Then he went another 770 kilometers to Ujjain in Madhya Pradesh, another BJP ruled state. This just goes on to show that police intelligence and police tracking is rather poor, Mr. Pandey.
It does. There's no doubt about it. But you must appreciate this thing that within 7 days, such a notorious criminal, such a veteran criminal, I mean, Vikas Dubey is not a small fry. He dared to kill 8 policemen over there at his residence. When police party went to, nab him, arrest him, he killed 8 police, including one DSP rank officers. And few years back, he had killed one minister also. I don't know, Mr. Santosh Shukla, he was some MLC or something like that. In a police station in presence of several police officers and several police personnel, he dared to kill him. So he was, and I'm told that more than 60 cases, criminal cases are registered against him. He was in jail for quite a long time. 4 months back, he was released on bail. Okay. And he dared to do this. So he is not a small fry. So criminals have big nexus. They have their supporters. They have their support system everywhere. There are people who help them. So the big thing is, and the most important thing is, that within 7 days of this incident, he has been nabbed in Ujjain. This
fair enough.
Has to be
but how do you cleanse the system? How do you ensure, Mr. Vikram Singh, I have quick 30 seconds on the broadcast, sir. How do you ensure that another Vikas Dubey, another Frankenstein's monster is not created and the muck in the system is weeded out, sir? Criminal action against the police and politicians who may be involved in this, is that even possible or a pipe dream? You know, that NN Vora committee report, when he was Home Secretary right behind me in this building in North Block, that report still remains a secret on the criminal police nexus.
Gauravji, there are short-term measures and long-term measures. Take the short-term measures in this. Anyone identified in the interrogation should be treated as a gang member. The MLA, MP, IES and IPS officers, ministers, MLAs and MLCs. They should be booked as gang members. And anybody who is in suspicion of being a beneficiary of Vikas Dubey should be behind bars along with Vikas Dubey. Then the long term, anybody who is involved in crime carrying a punishment of 7 years should be debarred from elections. But it is easier said than done, and I don't think it is likely to happen in my lifetime. But I'm an optimist. I do believe that it does happen.
Sir, you're an optimist, I'm an optimist, and we will track the story very closely to hope and see that it happens. But for the moment, Mr. Pandey and Mr. Vikram Singh, for the moment, many thanks for joining me. I want to shift focus to the other big story we're tracking here on India Today, and that is the withdrawal of Chinese forces from the line of actual control now in the Gogra Post sector. So initially they withdrew from Galwan, then they withdrew from Patrol Point 15 and now 17A. All eyes now remain on Finger 4 to Finger 8 area, where there's some talk of the Chinese withdrawing up to Finger 5. I want to quickly cut across to Leh and bring in India Today's Abhishek Bhalla for more on the story. Abhishek, what's the latest? What more can you add?
This is the first sign of any kind of a disengagement in the Pangong Tso, which has been the biggest flashpoint till now. And this comes soon after the disengagement was completed in 3 other friction points, which included Galwan, Hot Springs and the Gogra areas. But what is very significant is that while the Chinese have moved back from Finger 4 to Finger 5, the Indian troops have also taken a step backwards towards Finger 3. What sources say is that this has happened under a mutual agreement that was decided of stepping back in all the friction areas, but it remains to be seen whether this will be viable as far as India is concerned, because India claims that the line of actual control runs through Finger 8 in the Pangong Lake, and the Chinese had moved in from Finger 8 to Finger 4, an area of about 8 kilometers into what India claims to be its territory. Finger 4 was obviously
So let's see if the Chinese go back to Finger 8. And from what sources are telling me, Abhishek, it's extremely critical. As of now, just to reduce tensions, both sides move back 2 kilometers. But from what my sources in the army tell me, that once patrolling resumes, India will once again touch all these all the fingers and of course the patrol points 14, 15, 17 Alpha. Whether that happens or not, we'll be tracking that story. Abhishek, for the moment, many thanks for joining me. That is all I have time for on the show this evening. Many thanks for watching. News and updates continue on India Today. Stay with us.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.